Live.
Yeah!
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Do my hands, do my knees, do my elbows, and we're good to go. A little bit on my face. Oh, so delicious. So delicious. All right, here we go. Waiting for that to finish.
So I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, why Burger King sent out a mass email, and who put money on your windshield, and what is that in the sky? Cured meat? All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? You know, I don't know about you, but over here in the beautiful town of Marshville, which is just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, we sit on about 22 some odd acres here. We have horses, chickens, cattle, all that stuff. It has gotten a little cooler. I'm looking at the temperature gauge down below here on the computer here. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, I have a matching video as well. You can see me wave at the camera, and we'd love for you to join us as well on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm looking at it. It says right now around 91 degrees. That's cool. That's cool for here. I mean, the humidity is probably lower than what it normally is during this time. I know we're supposed to get some rain. Sometimes they say rain is coming, and sometimes they say, you might get it, you might not. Who knows? It's not like Florida. Now, for those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. You could set your watch by the weather update or the weather forecast. Usually around 3, 4 o'clock, you'll get a thunderstorm, whether it be 30 minutes long, maybe 40 minutes long, and then all of a sudden, skies clear up, and then you can go on about your day. So here in North Carolina, we are about 20 days out from having cooler temperatures around 80 or so, and that's going to bring us into September as well. Now back to you, Chuck, with the weather update. I'm kidding. I don't know. I was giving you a whole weather update. Now, something I will update you on. Now, you guys know my dad lives with us and stuff. You know what? I know a lot of people that are my age. When I say my age, you know, in the mid-40s, and they do a CPAP. A good friend of the station, good friend of the show, Shane, his wife does the whole CPAP sleep apnea thing. And my wife says, you know, sometimes if I had a couple beers, you know, I fall asleep and I fall asleep in the wrong position, and I sit there and snore, and everyone can relate to that. But me, I know that I'll wake up. I know I will. I mean, I can set my watch by that too. I know I'll wake up around 2 o'clock, 2:30. My eyes are draining. My throat feels like when I'm breathing in or swallowing, it always feels like a web in the back of my throat. So I would sit there, you know, cough and, you know, try to cough it up, and I don't spit it out. I swallow it. Oh, I know. But I know that I've got a good hour of me sitting here doing that, you know, trying to get my airway clear so I can breathe and enjoy the rest of my night's sleep. The sad part is the sleep that I get after that 1 hour spell of waking up between 2 and 3 o'clock is the best sleep I have all night long. So my wife, you know, oh, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to a sleep therapist. You need to do all this stuff. And then one night I physically explained to her what was going on, that my eyes drain. I wear a mask. I wear earplugs. We have a dehumidifier in the room, which makes the room nice and crispy cold around 67 degrees. Only in our bedroom. The rest of the house, fuck it. My dad's on the other side of the house sweating. It's 85 degrees. We don't turn the AC up for him. But, you know, brittle bones, brittle skin. 85 is 45 to him. So my wife goes, well, why don't you take like a Zyrtec? I said, isn't that going to like make me sleepier or something? No. It just dries you out. It's I forget what she says, something about a allergy pill. I said, okay, let me tell you what. I started taking it on Monday. Now, we broadcast a show every Wednesday, We post it on all our social networks, and you can find these podcasts. If you're listening to us now, make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on social contacts. You can see our YouTube page, Twitch page, our live broadcasting, live streaming page, and make sure you follow us, and we'll send you out some free stuff. All you have to do is fill out that form. Now, so I said, you know what? I've got one of those pill containers that's got Monday through Friday daytime, Monday through Friday nighttime. So on my nighttime side, I bought a thing of 24 pills of Zyrtec at Walmart. At Walmart. It's not a prescription. It's over the counter. It's like $37. I'm like, holy shit. And you open, and the container's no bigger than the chalk cue for the end of your pool stick. I mean, that's how big the container is. So I'm like, 24 pills in here, and you roll it around. It sounds like, Mexican jumping beans in there. And you're like, all right. Don't they have a generic one? Isn't what Equate? What's the Walmart brand that's generic? I think it's Equate, like equivalent. You feel like you're getting it, and they try to match the color somewhat. They try to match the color scheme right. I would rather buy those all day long as far as generic stuff for pills. And so I bought the generic one. It was $17, and I'm like, Jesus, trying to keep the grocery bill down underneath $200 a week, which is getting difficult, more difficult every day or every week when we go grocery shopping with the prices and stuff. You feel me? So I said, you know what? I'm going to do a couple of these pills. I'll do a week's worth. So I took one on Monday with all my other pills. I do fish oil, melatonin. And you're like, well, doesn't the melatonin knock you out? No, it does. It gets me there. It gets me to head on the pillow, eyes closed. And then for whatever reason, you can set an alarm 4 minutes later or 4 hours later, melatonin wakes up or wears off, and I wake up, and there I am laying in my sleep, laying in my own snot web in my throat. So I said, all right, I'll take the Zyrtec or the generic Zyrtec. Monday, slept like a baby. I'm like, well, maybe, my wife and I have been walking. We do a mile and a half in the morning. On days that she's not riding, when she's riding the horses, I'll do 5-mile bike ride in the morning, and then, vice versa, flip-flop, whatever. But I'm doing a little bit more physical activity before breakfast. So Monday I fell asleep thinking that, I had a good walk with my wife. We walked a mile and a half. And it came in and did some stuff. I did some weed eating around the property, and we sit on about 22 some odd acres. But the house physically sits on 3 acres, so that's a lot of weed whacking and stuff going on. So I just thought my legs were just tired from, or when I went to bed, I was just exhausted from doing all that physical labor. I know there's people out there digging ditches and slinging mud all day long, and you're so lucky, Deacon. That's all you have to do for a week. Yeah, that's all I have to do. Slept great. Tuesday night, my wife had a riding lesson, so I went for a 5-mile bike ride. Now, you're saying, for those of you who live in those flat states like Florida, that's where I'm from, you're saying a 5-mile bike ride, I could do that in like 5 minutes. But here in North Carolina, we live on 2-lane country back roads. Now, they are paved, but they are up and down hills. I mean, when I say up and down hill, it's not like, a little bump. Like you go uphill for like 20 seconds, then you're down for like 20 seconds. No, I'm talking like a minute and a half. You're pedaling up this 5-7% in grade. What's the incline? Sorry. In grade is something else totally entirely. And this degrade. And you're going down the hill at 17 miles an hour on a bicycle. And when you're my age, and you kind of freak out about that, but I go and lay in bed at night, and I'm like, I took my handful of pills, my fish oil, my garlic, my milk thistle, my 2 melatonins, and now my Zyrtec. And I've been taking that. I'm going to say, for the price it costs to sit there and go through a whole sleep apnea thing, the whole sleep study, and buy this $3,000-$4,000 mask that you have to keep on your face. And then, I saw videos of people trying to clean those out and the shit that comes out of them. No, Zyrtec completely dries me out. Now, granted, yes, I did have cotton mouth one morning, but you know, everyone's got a thing, a water bottle or something, Jack Daniels, whatever your drink of choice is on the side of your bed. Mine is a big container of usually lemon water. I'll have that next to the bed. Take a couple sips of that. Usually clears it right up. But I've been taking Zyrtec, one Zyrtec pill or Zyrtec or the generic one every night, and it has cleared me up. I've been able to breathe properly. I've been able to inhale. I don't wake up. My wife, I'm like, did I wake you up at all? Normally she's like, I don't know. I was in and out of sleep. I'm like, babe, you should take a Zyrtec. You know, hello, kettle. This is pot. I'm telling you what to take. No, I don't want to take that. And she's on a whole bunch of other regimen that she does on her side of the bed. But still, so I took a Zyrtec. So those of you out there who wake up in the middle of the night, I know there's probably, 15, 16% of you out there that when you listen to us and you're like going, yeah, that's me. Well, take a Zyrtec or a generic one. And if you're waking up with that cobweb, that snot web that's in the back of your throat, and you just sit there and you just can't get a breath, try that. And maybe before you go to the sleep study and before you put on that stupid alien face mask, try a Zyrtec and see if that helps you at all. If it does, great. Email me at any time, deacon@prophetradio.com. I'd love to hear from you. Or you can go over to prophetradio.com and leave us a physical voice message, and it comes right here to the station, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. Go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, click on Be Heard, opens up a microphone on whatever tablet, whatever smart device you're listening to us on, and leave us a message, and it comes right here, and we'll play it. You can be part of the show, and you can be right on the air with us as well. All right, guys, when we come back, I was talking about generic stuff. My wife made me a cake. No reason. I just wanted a cake. And she went the generic route as far as the additives for the frosting. And it tasted like, well, I'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on social contacts. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. You can see me waving the camera. Hopefully you guys are waving back. And make sure you like and subscribe over there. And do me a favor also, while you're over there, Prophet Radio has their own Facebook page. Click on that and you get all the updates of live broadcasts, music news if you're a big music fan or anything like that. Prophet Radio is kind of a different type of music station. They play tons of I don't want to say weird music, but tons of new music out there that your radio stations, the paid radio stations where like Clear Channel or not Clear Channel, like all these people, I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but all the radio stations only play like the top 10 songs like every hour, and it's the same songs over and over and over. And there's so much more music out there. Deacon Live likes to showcase a lot of new bands, and you'll hear them on our broadcasts every week. You'll hear new bands that are out there, independent artists just trying to make a living out there, drudging through the fields of what is the music industry. So make sure you go over to prophetradio.com and like and subscribe to the Facebook page as well. Now, I was talking about buying generic stuff. I have no problem buying generic stuff at all. Unless it comes with, they say, well, here, except for food. So what they say is, for example, you buy the Campbell's. Everyone knows Campbell's chicken noodle soup, right? Campbell's chicken noodle soup. They actually, and I read this article a few years back, when you open up Campbell's chicken noodle soup, now, they have been basically the same since all of us have been kids. Anyone who's listening to this, the sound of my voice, anyone who's listening to this podcast, Campbell's soup, chicken noodle soup has always been the same no matter what. They haven't changed anything. They haven't done anything. Now, Campbell's, when you open the lid up, it's a condensed soup, so you have to add water to it or whatever you want to add to it. When you open it up, Campbell's does a quality control and says there needs to be at least, and don't quote me on this, needs to be at least 20 pieces of chicken, the little diced chicken that they have in there. It's smaller than what's the size of the chicken that's in the chicken noodle soup? about the size of a pea, like a green pea or something like that. Smaller than that. There needs to be 20 of them in there. All right, we'll do that, and it goes through quality control, and that's Campbell. Campbell puts their stamp on it. It's good to go. It's out the door, and you know what you're getting every time you open up that can up. Now, for whatever reason, sometimes the batch comes through, and there's only 15 pieces of chicken in the chicken noodle soup. So what do? They ship it over to Walmart. They ship it over to all these other generic places. Believe it or not, the people that are making the actual main product is actually selling the generic ones as well. I know, shocking, right? How can they double dip like that? Well, they are. But they sell it at a lower price and so on and so forth. So the chicken noodle soup that you buy, the great value, might have 50. I'm fine. I don't sit there and split hairs as far as how many pieces of chicken are in my condensed chicken noodle soup. I don't care. I'm okay with that. As long as it does the job that I need it to do, I'm good with that. My wife likes to bake. And I said, you know what? Let me buy a cake mixture. My dad's got, he's got a refrigerator full of ice cream, and I'm trying to keep the sweets out of the house as much as possible for me and my wife. And I was grocery shopping the other day, and I said, you know what? I feel like a chocolate cake. I feel like a nice, creamy, moist chocolate cake, and I love cream cheese frosting on it. So I go and buy Duncan Hines. I'm going to go Duncan Hines because I want the 20 pieces of chicken in there. I want the original recipe is what I'm saying of Duncan Hines double food cake. And then I don't care about the icing. I bought like the generic Walmart brand cream cheese icing. I like cream cheese icing. It's got a nice combination there. It's moist. It's all that stuff. So I come home and I bring everything and I'm loading the groceries, and my wife goes, oh, what'd you get? And I said, I got chocolate cake. And she's like, oh, well, what about the icing? I said, well, I got the, Walmart brand. She's like, no, I like to make cream cheese icing. I don't like that stuff out of the can. All right, that's fine. Do we have any cream cheese at the house? She asked me. And I go, well, we do, but we're using it for another recipe. She's like, fine. I don't mind going up to the local Food Line. That's the next closest store. Instead of driving 20 miles into Walmart, we go to Food Line. Food Line, kind of ghetto if you ask my opinion, but it's okay. I mean, it's close by. If you got to run up there to get some cream cheese, I think you'd be okay. And it's sad because here in North Carolina, the home office is over in Salisbury, North Carolina, and the stores are they don't take care of them. They don't upgrade them. They don't do anything, but that's another note in itself. So my wife goes up there and gets all the ingredients to make homemade cream cheese frosting. One of the ingredients is almond extract. The little brown jar of vanilla extract. Well, they make an almond extract, and that's what you need to do the cream cheese frosting. So she makes the cake, does all the stuff. She puts the sprinkles of chocolate chips on top and sits it down. We have dinner that night. I'm all ready for it. It's frosted. She's got it on the cake platter. I take a big shunk and another shunk, and it's about the size, cake. I've already taken maybe a fourth of the pie. No, I took a smaller piece, and I start eating it. And my wife's eating it too. We're winding down for the night. We're watching TV, and she goes, how's it taste? Like she already knows in the back of her mind there's something wrong with it. And I go, it's good. Why? She's like, all right, keep eating. And what she's done is she's made the two round pieces of cake with the frosting in the middle and then the frosting on the outside. So it's a 2-layer cake. And I go, it's good. So I take another bite out of my chocolate cake and I go, something's not right. What did you do wrong? And she's like, it's the frosting. I said, why? Yeah, what's wrong with the frosting that you made? I used a generic Food Line brand almond extract to make the frosting, and it turned out like this. I said, babe, it tastes like freaking bug spray. She's like, yeah, it does. It has like this bug spray taste. I said, don't mess with the cake. I got the 2 jars of icing out there. We'll scrape off all the icing that's on it, and we'll put the other icing on it. But yeah, she opted for the generic almond extract from Food Line, ghetto. Not the extract, but the place itself is ghetto, and it just tasted like bug spray. So I just kind of, scraped it off and started dishing out cream cheese from the actual container that I got from Walmart to cover the top, piecemealed it out. I cut a piece of chocolate cake, pulled off the old ice cream, put on the new ice cream, not icing, and put it on top and sent it off. My dad, he's loving it. My wife goes, yes, you can have a piece of the cake, when we're all done. So he's out there, he takes a piece, that night, and then all of a sudden I start seeing it getting smaller and smaller. I'm like, babe, are you eating this? She's like, no, I'm not. You are? I said, yeah, but I'm doing my own thing. So my dad's been out there, he's got a freezer full of ice cream and stuff, and my cake's getting smaller and smaller. I'm like, hey, this is supposed to be for me. Well, if you want to eat bug spray, go ahead, because I'm going to fix this. I'm going to take the old icing off and put new icing on it. He can't taste. I don't know. His, 76-year-old taste buds have shot to hell. Now, something that's being shot to hell right now, I think there was an article a few weeks back that they were talking about vitamins, like the vitamins that I take, like when I go to bed, I take garlic, milk thistle, fish oil. What else do I take at night? A baby aspirin, the stuff that you're supposed to take when you get to a certain age. But in the morning, I take a D3, I don't know, a bunch of other multivitamins and stuff. They're saying it's a waste of time. Well, this guy right here took his advice of his doctor, who said that he had a low dosage of B in his blood system, ended up losing his ability to walk. An Australian man down under lost his ability to walk after taking 70 times the amount of recommended dose of vitamin B6. According to his daughter, Allison Taylor, the 86-year-old had been living independently when his blood test revealed that he was low on vitamin B6, resulting in his doctor prescribing him a 50 milligram supplement. Now, stay with me, because why would the doctor prescribe 50 milligrams when technically only 1.7 milligrams of men over the age of 50 is required? So he got the 50 milligram dose of B6 that he was taking. He was also taking a magnesium supplement, which also contained 50 milligrams of B6, and eating breakfast cereals fortified with vitamin B6 as well, consuming almost 70 times more than the recommended dose. According to Mount Sinai, doses higher than 200 milligrams of vitamin B6 can cause a neurological disorder, including loss of feeling in the legs due to nerve damage. The website also notes that stopping high doses usually leads to complete recovery within about 6 months. But this is what actually happened. The vitamin B6 toxicity is typically rare, as an excess of B vitamins are generally flushed out of the body through the urine, but taking high amounts of vitamins over a long term could lead to a lot of difficult problems. The overdose on the vitamins can be serious consequences. The man was hospitalized for a vitamin D overdose, in which he saw him unwell for months. Sorry. This included vomiting, diarrhea. That's a hangover margarita. Someone make that for me. Let's try it out. Abdominal pain, dry mouth, ringing in the ears, and leg cramps. The man had reportedly been taking the 20 over-the-counter supplements after meeting with his private nutritionist, who recommended all these items. He was taking over 200 times the required amount of vitamin B6. So be careful who's asking, when they say doctor, I'm a doctor, I'm a nutritionist. Make sure that you're actually getting with someone. Even sometimes doctors make mistakes, but nutritionists over in Australia, be aware of what they're doing right there. All right, guys, when we come back, there are 87,000 new agents out there, and they're all looking for you. And what did you do wrong? Well, I'll get into that here when we come back. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Of course you do. We'd like to hear from you as well. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the Be Heard little blue bar at the very bottom of the page. opens up a microphone, talk right into it, speak clearly, and it'll come right into our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. If you want to talk about any of the things that we've talked about here on Deacon Live at any point, or if you just want to ask a question, we've got over 275 episodes of Deacon Live, so you can go over there and research all the different topics and stuff we've been talking about and ask us any questions about those topics that you heard in past episodes. And make sure you follow us on all your social networks. For every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me waving to you, and you hopefully seeing us on your tablet, your smart device, wherever you're watching us on your YouTube channel as well. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. I know a lot of people go over there and they watch the video, but they really don't subscribe. Just hit subscribe. You don't have to hit the bell. I don't care. I just want you guys to know that, we do a new video every day. And the reason why we do the videos, one, you can see me in my hand suggestion. I talk like I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. And the other thing that we do is anytime I talk about an article, if there's a video or a picture or anything like that, you can go right over to it and see it right there in real time as we're talking about it here on the show as well. Now, the housing market itself has, I don't know if it's falling off yet. I know we sold my mom and dad's house after my mom passed away. We sold that house, and we were right at that, like it's shaking on the cliff of it falling, quickly. We got a cash offer for it, probably 15. I think it was 20,000 more a cash offer on what we were asking for the house, which is great. But the market out there, I know because I've got a lot of friends over on my Facebook page that are realtors, and sometimes they post all the different things, and so you get kind of a flex to both ends, what the news is telling you and what the actual realtors are telling you as well. Now, this person right here, a home buyer in Nevada, literally got more than what she bargained for after ending up with almost 87 properties that she did not know that she owned. Now, how does that happen? The buyer was originally purchasing a single-family home in Sparks, Nevada, valued at $594,481. So just give you an idea of all those people over there on the West Coast. However, the Washoe County, WASHOE County, Nevada, assessor and the county records office had records showing that the buyer gained not just only the property that she was buying, but also 84 extra lots, 2 additional parcels as well. The Toll Brothers, Toll Brothers, Stonebrook development just north of Reno made this mistake. The properties included several homes and sites that have already been built on and is sold, and at least 64 lots were put up under the buyer's name as of Saturday. So what happened was they made this, copy paste error, and this time, computers are our best friends and computers are our worst enemies at sometimes. The transaction was flagged by the assessor's office, which says it quickly notified the title company involved in this issue. The culprit, apparently, all it takes is 4 keystrokes to accidentally give someone the title to the properties worth millions and millions of dollars. So it appeared that the Westminster title out of Las Vegas, and they're going to get a lot of shit here, may have copied and pasted a legal description from another Toll Brothers transfer when preparing the home buyer's deed to record it. Because it was a pretty clear mistake, and the Assessment Services Divisions reached out to the Westminster Title Company right away. They could begin working on correcting this chain to release the titles of the 86 properties transferred in error. You know what I would have said? Tough shit. I now own, according to your documents, like if you were to mess up on something, buying a home, and they accidentally, or the realtor office accidentally charge you an extra $500-600, they're not gonna come up on that $500-600 if you had someone in your best interest, whether it be a property attorney or something of that effect, all my realtor friends out there, they would have found the error. They would have found that and gone back to the title company and come back and said, hey, you know, this and that and that and this. But if they said, you know, hey, you bought this and you all these other 86 things, I would have said, don't touch it. Don't do a thing. I'm going to go get an attorney and we're going to fight this out, because I don't know how much legality they have there. But I mean, for the most part, if you put that I bought A and B, and then all of a sudden you include A, B, and C, that's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Am I wrong for saying that? We'd love to hear from you, all you title people out there, even realtors, and explain to me how that would benefit one side or the other. And the way you do that is go to profitradio.com, click on Be Heard, opens up a microphone, speak your mind as far as what that is, and sends it right to us, and we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. Now, another 87,000 people, another 87,000 agents are being hired in this one area. Now, hold on. Now, the area that the 87,000 agents are being hired in are probably not your best friend. The Senate approves a nearly $80 billion in IRS funding, with $45 billion to enforce it, raising the question about who may be targeted for future audits. So what's happening is, let's get right down to brass tacks. Let's see. The IRS Commissioner, Charles Reddick, said the resources won't increase the amount of audit scrutiny on small businesses or middle-income Americans. However, the investment project is to bring $203 billion in revenue. Opponents say that the IRS enforcement may have effect on everyday employees or everyday Americans. As the Democrats plan now, believe me, we're a non-biased show for the most part. If it makes sense to us, we'll say it, whether it be blue, whether it be red, we don't care. So what's happening is, as the Democrats spending plan moves closer to the House vote, one of the more controversial provisions, nearly $80 billion, is IRS funding. What does that mean? It raises a question about what the agencies may be targeting for audits. Our biggest worry is that the burden of these audits will land on people as the equivalent of Walmart shoppers. Representative Kevin Brady from Texas says this past week, the overall audits plunged 44% when the fiscal year 2015 and 2019, according to the 2021 Treasury inspection, as far as what was going on. And that's the kind of point where we were losing all the auditors. While the audits dropped 75%, for Americans making $1 million or more, the percentage fell by 33% for low and moderate income filers claiming to earn an income tax credit as well, known as the EITC. Ken Corbin, Chief Taxpayer Experience Officer for the IRS, said that the returns claim for the earned income tax credit historically have high rates of improper payments and therefore require greater enforcement. Now, what's happening is they're saying that since many low-income Americans are wage earners, these audits are generally less complex and may be automated. So what's going on is they're hiring 87,000 employees for a range of positions with the IRS. Sharing the exact numbers are still in the coming months. A majority of the new employees will replace the standard level of staff departures from the last few years. So what does that mean for you? Let's say, for example, you make $150,000 and you claim $50,000 in charitable deductions. You're more likely to be audited because it's disappropriated funds in the system, what the system expects. Now, other red flags for the IRS audit may include unreported income, tax refundable credits such as the earned income tax credit, home offices, auto deductions, and rounded numbers on your tax return. How much did you make last year? 20,000 even. That's what I make. The new auditors have about 6 months worth of training and receive cases worth a few $100,000 rather than the tens of millions the normal auditors will take care of. So they're saying that they're hiring these 87,000 people, new auditors, based on the Democrats' new spending plan, and these new 87,000 IRS agents aren't going to be at the high people. You know, you don't just give someone that's been in training the whole entire company to run. They're giving the lower end people, you know, hey, here, try all these small little people that earn less than $100,000, that earn less, you know, combined total in a household, or earn less than $80,000. You take care of them, audit those people. Well, those people usually don't have any kind of like big tax write-offs or anything like that. So they're going to be panicking. They're going to be going, you know, what did I do wrong? You know, I've been out of work. The government's been sending me money. I do work out of my house. I have an Etsy thing. Do I need to claim that? I do, was it Venmo? Any of these other cash things where I go back and forth and accept cash payments for selling stuff. Those companies now have to report their earnings based on, or they have to report you as far as your earnings based on what they have to turn over to the IRS. If you make any more than $600 on anything like that, all these companies, you can't win. It's a fighting battle. You know what? And it's a confusing mess. It's a muddy mess. People are going to be pointing their fingers at everyone and all the different parties, and no one's got a correct answer for them. So just to let you know, that's what's going on. 87,000 new tax IRS agents are being hired, and most of them only are going to have 6 months of training. It's kind of like if you're $1 million company, you don't go to the Walmart H&R branch to file your taxes. If that puts it in perspective, you go and you hire someone that absolutely knows all the different ins and outs, CPA, lawyer, and all that stuff. But your lower end people that aren't making millions and millions of dollars, and making, you know, less than $60,000 in a household, you go to those lower end people because you don't have a whole lot of tax write-offs or anything like that. I basically is the way I look at it. There's nothing wrong with them. I used to go to them all the time. I had a small little company. I made less than $100,000 a year. It was just me. I was one employee. Had two subcontract people. Went down there, filled out my paperwork. Boom, never had an audit. And they also, that's the kicker, H&R Block always go, do you want to spend another $75 to make sure that if you have an audit, we will fund everything to protect you? I don't know if you guys have been through that before, but I always go, yes, $75. I don't have to deal with anyone. You take the call, by all means. Here you go, $75. Now, this has been probably 20 years ago. I don't know what that amount is, but if I don't have to do it, I will pay that amount of money so I don't get audited, and that's what's happening out there. All right, when we come back, you ever ordered anything from Burger King through the drive-thru, and all of a sudden you get up to the window and they messed up your order? By the time you get home and they messed it up, well, they messed up something big time here on the internet. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, we'd love to give you something for free. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the free swag section and fill out that little form there. Believe me, I got enough shit going on here, as you guys can tell. I got enough shit going on here. I'm not going to do anything with your email address. I promise I'm not going to sell it to you or sell it to anyone or sell it back to you or do anything like that. We just want to say thank you for listening to us. And we'll send you out some magnets, some stickers. And don't forget, while you're over there, I also host a couple other different podcasts. If you're big into the equine world, that's horses out there for all you laymen. I don't want to make fun of you guys out there, but I mean, equine world, the horse community, I do a podcast, weekly podcast, just like this one here, that is dedicated strictly for taking care of your horses, the biometrics of a horse. And if you ever wondered or interested about that, go over and see that podcast as well. That's Equine Dynamics with Mike Stein. He's the owner of the show, and I just kind of sit along on the moderator for the whole show. So we've got some interesting guests coming up here in the next week. So make sure you check us out over there as well at Equine Dynamics with Mike Stein. Check that out as well. And I also have Bad Calls, which is me making fun of telemarketers, which is always a good time as well. Now, something that's always a good time for me, for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. Like I said, we have horses, we have cattle, we have chickens, we have goats, we have dogs, we have cats. We've got all these things going on here on the property. And we live, as you heard before, it's 20 miles to go to a Walmart to buy necessities and stuff like that, or not necessarily Walmart, but 20 miles to the next town over. We also have a small little community of things and items that are here. We have a small little feed store that we love to go to, and that's JAL Elite Feed Store over there in Main Street, right there in downtown Marshville. They've got some great soap over there. My wife and I love Ma's soap. We scrub our bodies real good with that, and our bodies feel so clean. It's made with goat's milk and tea oil and all this great stuff. So our community has a lot of benefits that the big communities don't have. One thing that we do have is, and not in our community, is a lot of variations of fast food joints, which is fine. It's great. It's great for my waistline. Then we have a Wendy's, we have a Bojangles, all within about 7 miles. 7 miles. I'm talking country road 7 miles. Remember I was talking about going up and down and up and down. 7 miles of country road to get to a Bojangles. So you better love that chicken biscuit when you get it. Now, what's not around us that I was so frequent in Orlando is Papa John's. I know Papa John's went through a whole lot of stuff with him saying a bunch of bad things and comparing himself to Colonel Sanders. I don't want to dive into that. He's taken his lumps. He's no longer part of the board. And then somehow Shaq ended up buying like 27 Papa John's and being the spokesperson for them as well. So we don't have a Papa John's around us. And I love Papa John's. As far as fast food pizza, I know everyone out there, that's crap, it's garbage. Well, when you say it's crap and garbage, you know why? Because you've got 15 other independent vendors around you that's not Papa John's. You know, the Mamma Mia's, the Papa Pia's, and all those other independent family-owned restaurants around you. Out here, we don't have that. We have Dave's, who doesn't deliver anymore. Because of COVID, they can't hire a driver to maintain their delivery service. And then we have Papa John's. I like Papa John's. I like what they do with their pizzas. And you can order online. You can physically design the pizza online if you wanted to. Now, something that Papa John's right now is coming out with is what they're calling, I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm going to tell you what they're doing, and I'll give you my twist on what they're doing. Papa John's is now borrowing a tactic from Chipotle that might give the chain a competitive advantage over what? I don't know. Over Chipotle again? Papa John's is introducing Papa Bowls made from pizza toppings without the crust. All right. Well, I don't know how that's going to go. Customers can create their own bowls reminiscing of the Chipotle and the Subway. You know, we can go down and basically on the line, analysts have said this is good margin for profit and blah, 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 blah. Papa John's is announcing Papa Bowls, crustless pizza dishes that can be customized. An unorthodox variation of the pizza might give Papa John a key competitive edge, according to the restaurant's industry analysis. The bowls, which are essentially Papa John's toppings without the pizza, comes in 3 varieties, and this is where I have a problem. 3 varieties: Italian meat trio, chicken Alfredo, and garden veggie. Most of the national chains don't sell pizza bowls, So it will help Papa John's differentiate itself from the competition. No. Let me tell you this is what they should do. All right. Gone are the days of the sit down, dine in pizza places, right? You know, the Pizza Huts, in the Pizza Huts, you know, Hungry Howie's, it's still there, but it's still a brick and mortar store where you have to physically go in there and pick it up. Now, DoorDash and all the other things, DoorDash and all the driving food services, I don't know if they're amounting to much. Papa John's probably doesn't partake in that. But let me explain something to you. Papa John's, Rich, what's his name? Rich Schnatter or something like that. He's not part of the company anymore. If I could go down to a Papa John's location and walk in there, let me backtrack a little bit. When you order a Papa John's pizza, how long does it take? What do they always say? Papa John's pizza. I'd like to order pizza. Okay, there's about an hour and a half waiting time. All right. Or pick up delivery. It's about an hour and a half waiting time. All right, hour and a half. All right, put that in your mind. Hour and a half, put that in a pin on the back of your mind. If you were to go down to a Papa John's pizza and they had what they have at Chipotle, what they have at Subway, and you could get your thing right there, they slide the pizza. What size pizza do you want? I want this. All right, they put the pizza down there. What do you want on your pizza? As they're doing the red sauce. No more red sauce, please. And they sit there and do that. Now, I don't know if this has been done before, but if you could design your pizza right then and there, Christ, Quiznos did it. They were toasting everything right there in the store. Put the Papa John pizza through the oven, let it roll out and come out the other side. Boom, you're done. If you want it double crusted or double fried, double baked, which is what I like, they can run back around, throw it in again. And then you want to bring it these pasta bowls, these Papa John bowls with no pizza on top. They need to be able to slide down. Screw all the people doing all the other stuff. You know, have that whole line, that whole like blue plate, Piccadilly style, where they slide the tray down, they put whatever you want on it. That is, in my opinion, I want to see my food being made. I don't want to sit there, because if you order, this is what's going to happen. When you order one of these, what is it? Italian meat trio, chicken Alfredo, and garden veggie, they're not being made. They are, if you look at them, they look like those. Are you guys familiar with factor meals where, you know, it's on a tray? You know, you get them in the mail and you just basically pull the top off, throw them in the microwave, heat them up, and then bring them out. That's exactly what these look like. This is not going to be a good selling point for Papa John's. I think if they were to come up with some kind of design in their restaurants, they might have to remodel the whole thing. I mean, they've already remodeled before. They're doing well. Let's remodel again and make sure that at least there's a little bit more one-on-one customer contact, because when you take the customer out of it, you take the personality, the personability of the restaurant. I'm not going to eat there. I won't eat there. Unless they give me something here on DeaconLive, and I'll eat there every day. Email me at deacon@profitradio.com, Papa John's. I'll hook you up, or you can hook me up. Either way. Now, someone that was trying to hook people up is Burger King. I like Burger King as well as I like Papa John's. I think those are basically the two. If I could not gain any weight at all, those are the two places I would eat all day long, and probably Arby's would be my third place, and Popeyes would be my fourth place. If I could eat at these places all day long and not gain any weight, or if it's the last years of my life, I would eat at these four places all the time, you know, not caring, you know, 70, 80 years old. I don't care. Give me whatever. But Burger King, the restaurant that can kind of get your order right, can't even get their email strategy right. In this article right here, Burger King customers around the world were left baffled after they opened their email boxes and found a blank receipt from the fast food restaurant. In any case, it's all speculation as far as what happened, whether it was a blunder, from the company, or if someone had a data breach, or if someone stole your credit cards or anything like that and was trying to buy stuff at the main location. Tech Radar Pro has contacted the company for a comment. With phishing, this is what they had to say, with phishing being as widespread as it is, and the capability of causing real financial damage, one can never be cautious enough about email. Cyber criminals often impersonate big brands, not just fast food industries, but other industries such as Amazon, yada, yada. We've seen all these phishing scam emails. Emails with links and buttons are also potential red flags. Receipts should be double-checked and hyperlinks before clicking on anything. And what they're saying is, take your mouse and move over the email and see if the hyperlink makes any sense. So what happened was, it was just a generic email that was sent out at some point from the marketing company. It was a blunder. They basically had a whole list of emails with no receipts or anything like that on it, and someone clicked left instead of click right, and email was sent out to everyone who ever put in an email address on the Burger King website, whether it was for a competition or to get free food or anything like that. They accidentally clicked the wrong email. Can you imagine that? What if it was another email that said, our meat is people, don't tell our customers. And they click on that, and oh my God, it went out to all the customers. And then maybe 5% would go eat at Burger King because there's weird people out there. All right, speaking of weird people, when we come back, I'll dive into, I'm telling you, I've got it. I have it, because I sat there with my wife and started talking about things, and I'm like going, this is what's wrong with me. And what is that? I'll dive into that when we come back. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. Get yourself something for free. Go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the free swag. Fill out that little form there. Believe me, I'm not going to do anything with your email address. I've got enough shit going on here. We just want to say thank you for liking us and being a part of the show, and we'll send you out some stickers. We have some magnets for your car or your refrigerator, however you want to do it, and we have some buttons, some lapel buttons. They're real nice. They're very tasteful. I designed them myself. And make sure you follow us on all your social networks as well. For every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me wave at the camera. Hopefully you guys are watching us as well. And as we talk about articles like this next one coming up here, you can see it in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. Now, I have been on the fence back and forth as far as me fishing anymore. Now, my grandfather passed away many years ago. He was a fisherman. My dad is and was a fisherman, still is a fisherman. He's getting a little old. I don't know if I take him fishing, whether he can live up to the challenge of throwing a rod into the water or putting a line in the bait and a hook or anything like that. But the main thing is, living in Florida, we always did surf fishing. Now, surf fishing, as long as you live in Florida and you have a Florida ID, and it's not any kind of like a certain season, like snook season or red season or anything like that, the trophy fish is what they call them. You're allowed to go out there and fish and do whatever you want. If you catch a shark, by all means, bring it in, chop it up. You have shark steaks. If you catch pompano, whiting, anything like that, as long as you're a Florida resident, you don't need a license or anything to fish off the coast of Florida. On the banks, and sometimes some jetties will have, there's a stipulation about going out on the jetties and fishing off of that as well. Now, one thing that's been taking over, I don't know how they do it, but I'm amazed to see it, is drone fishing. A YouTube video featuring drones. A YouTube video featuring a drone, a group of shoreline anglers, and a school of tuna has set the world afire in 2016. Now, currently, the video, which was filmed in Southwest Australia, shows two anglers rigging up a drone and releasing a suspended hook baited with squid, and then they walk the beach, flying it out, unmanned vehicle or drone, and to a spot of the long-tailed tuna just beyond the reef. Basically, where you can't throw a, surf fishing is all based on you with your rod, your physical strength, the weight, and whatever tackle you've got on the end of it, throwing it out there and getting it out there where the fish are. The tuna grabs the bait, pulls. The camera shows the bait is directly over the slashing fish and descends the drone, dropping the squid right into the school. A tuna grabs the bait, pulls free from the release, and the fight is on. So what they're doing is they have the fishing pole. They're taking the line, putting it on the end of the drone. Basically, you don't have to physically. God, we've become that much of pussies. We can't throw a fucking fishing line out in the water. They're taking the drone, dropping the bait right into the pool of fish, and then they have to sit there and fight with it. So what they're having, and let's see. Here's the video. We'll switch cameras. Hopefully this is the video that shows what's going on. So let's see. I'm going to mute the music so you can't. I'm not going to get flagged. So here we go. You can see a bunch of tuna out there. And there they are. Hold on. He's good. So he's reeling, just like offshore fishing. Big drone shot. There he is. Oh, look, I got a tuna. That thing right there is probably worth $1,200. Oh, yeah. Oh, you say no. Yeah, that thing right there is probably worth $1,200. There he goes. See you later. All right. There he goes. Hauling the tuna back. The angler's execution of this tactical demonstrates the cleverness and the competence of what's going on with new fishers today based on the implements that they have at their exposure. You can't afford a boat. Why not buy a drone? For the fair chase sportsmen and women as well, the North American saw this video. However, might have winced due to the ethical implications that are out there. Does fishing with a drone constitutes a fair catch, or is it even legal? For example, you can't cast net. You can't be on a dock and cast, a cast net and capture all these different game fish and all that. You can't do that. So what they're doing is they're trying to pass a rule right now that bans drone fishing here in the United States, just to get a handle on it right now. So let's see. An article from the mysanantonio.com tells the story of a Texas angler catching a 9.5-foot tiger shark from the beach pier in Port Arnesus, A-R-A-N-S-A-S. Can they make these names simpler? With the help of a drone. He dropped the bait in 100 yards offshore with a UVA and then waited for the shark to bite. The Texas Park Wildlife and Hunting Regulations declared this is an unlawful use of an aircraft, which includes drones, and active specific by permit to hunt and locate, manage, harass, dive, trap, or photograph any wild animals. Its fishing regulations, however, state that unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and bait launchers are approved methods of delivering bait. Federal regulations do apply to this. Indeed, drones are already regulated in some degree of federal government. As of 2016, all drones except for those weighing less than 0.5 pound must be registered in the stamp of Federal Aviation Agency. Now, don't forget, you're dealing with drones going up into the actual airspace where planes and helicopters and all that other stuff fly around. These two type of registrations are recreational and commercial. Identification tags both cost $5. Well, here's $20. I'm going to have them on all the different sides of my drone. They're valid for 3 years. Commercial use, or anyone operating a drone for hire, sponsorship, or any business entrepreneurs require a license from the FAA following a rented in-person test. The license costs $200 all at once and required to be satisfied. The people who have gone through this process compared to getting a real estate license as well. So commercial drone pilots, especially recreational pilots as well, must follow the host of federal rules. So what they're saying is, yes, you can start fishing with drones, but then, you know, for the offshore guy who can't physically do a boat, there's no more charter boats. As long as you have enough line on your fishing pole and you can get that bait out there with a drone, you're going to see a whole lot of it's a brand new world. I hate to use that slogan again, but it's a whole brand new world when you involve all this new technology and the ways that people are adapting to it and involving it in their everyday, whether it be business or anything like that. If that's your livelihood, by all means. There's no difference between having, depth finders, right, on the bottom of a boat. You go out there and, you know, you're driving through the deep and you find the shoreline, not the shoreline, but the reef line where it drops off. And here's the trench. All right, everyone on the boat, drop your lines down. Let's see what you catch. And it's no different than that, just the other direction, straight up in the air. Now, do I have a problem with that? No. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's up or down or what's left or right anymore. I had a conversation with my wife the other day. She's like, how come when you come in the house, you have so much anxiety and so much undistress or distress or anything like that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And she's like, well, when does that happen? I think the thing is, I'm so worried about my dad because he lives on the one side of the house. I'm so worried about my dad getting his house built on the backside of the property. We're in the process of doing that now. We finally got approved for them coming out and seeing the septic tank. That our personal lives, I don't want my wife and I's personal lives to be affected by my dad's everyday activities in the house. He's a 76-year-old man. He's set in his ways, but sometimes his ways are not the law of the house. Does that make any sense to you? So I get anxiety. I get upset. I get frustrated. I feel like I'm trapped and closed in. I don't know what happens. And my dad's going to listen to this. He's like going, all right, that's it. I'm going in a nursing home. It's not that. Believe me, Dad, I know you're listening right now. But what's happening is this never used to bother me before. And I've said this a million times. I think I have onset adult autism. And my wife goes, no, you don't. As I said to this, a year or 2 years ago. And now it's getting to the point where she's now seeing it to a certain level. She's like, oh, God, what is wrong with you? I'm like going, well, the signs of autism in adults includes different things to different people. Difficulty making friends, preferably being alone, which I already have that. High anxiety, which I have. Appearing blunt and having ritual patterns or behavior is also a symptom of onset adult autism. People with autism spectrum, or ASD, may have difficulty interacting with most people. They often have repetitive behavior, difficulty communicating, or strong intense interests in specific topics or objects. However, that doesn't mean that having autism is always a debilitating. Doesn't always means bad, or that people with autism cannot live independent lives. The term spectrum means a wide range of symptoms. So, this is where it gets interesting. Signs of autism in adults. The signs that lead to diagnosis of ASD are the same for children as in adults. So some of the signs of autism. All right, listen to me, people out there. Get your notepads out. Some signs of autism in adults include difficulty understanding what others are thinking or feeling. All right, I'll put maybe a question mark next to that. having very ritual patterns of behavior and getting anxious if these rituals are interrupted. I'm going to put a check with a question mark on that as well. Appearing blunt or rude without being meaning to. I'm going to put a check on that. Not understanding social clues. No, I'm very aware of social clues. There's some people that I wish they would understand social clues. So I'm going to put a check, but point the arrow not at me, at the other people. Difficulty making friends. I don't know. Preferring to be alone. Yes, I always prefer to be alone. Having high levels of focus or interest in certain topics or specific activities. Well, yes, I do that. I've always done that. Not knowing how to express yourself. Yes, unless you actually pin me in a corner, I cannot sit there and tell you exactly what I'm feeling. And that's what I had the conversation with my wife the other day. She's like, why? And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? This is what's happening. And then anxiety in social situations as well. And yes, I do. Some social, but I mean, everyone gets nervous. I mean, don't shake off nervous men. Don't shake off anxiety as to nervousness. There's been plenty of times I had to speak in front of thousands of people at any given time. I do get nervous. Anyone gets nervous doing that. So I don't know if that's it, but it just reminded me of the conversation I had with my wife. She's like, why do you get so anxious, so nervous? And I basically said, because there's an unfamiliar body in the house that makes me uncomfortable, because my wife, the animals and everything follow a certain set of rules and patterns in the house. And then I've got this other person in the house that lives on their own terms and does their own things. And it doesn't fit in with what I'm doing and try to create a nice, safe, calm place for us to retreat to. For the most part, take it what you will. So I think I've got it. Do I have it? I don't know. Doctors, call me up. Doctors, I'd love to hear from you as well. And the way you get your voice over on the podcast is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on Be Heard. Let me know what your diagnosis is as far as my temperamental, as far as what's going on in my life and on the property as well. All right, guys, stick around when we come back. That brand new, what do they call that new telescope out there? The James Webb Space Telescope. Can't even say that. The James Webb Space Telescope that's going on out there. Well, this French scientist found something amazing. Or did he? Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from each and every one of you. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the Be Heard section right there. It's a little blue bar. Opens up a microphone on your tablet, on your PC, wherever you're listening to us from. And speak right into it, and it comes right to our inbox right here, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. If you just want to say hello, how you doing, ask me a question, or tell me anything like that, we'd love to hear from you as well. And you heard right there that little sound. That means someone has left a message right here on the air. So I'll play that or listen to it back and then play it on the very next podcast as well. Now, school's back in session. I see all the little kiddies out there getting their pictures taken for first, fourth, fifth grade, going into junior high, all that stuff. And mommies are out there now, kid-free, going shopping and parking their cars at Target, Walmart, and getting all the best deals that they possibly can while they don't have the little rugrats flying around them in 200 miles an hour and trying to take care of them as well. Now, something that you need to pay attention is a scam out there. I'm going to call it a scam. It's not been proven, but I can see where this is going on. So, for example, many car thieves choose to commit their crimes late at night where no one's around and they can see them. But right now, there's a new method that's going on there, and it's one of those methods, and I'll get into that here in just one sec, where you always hear about don't flash your high beams, because if you flash your high beams, there's a murder initiation to a gang member cult or something like that, and they turn around and they kill you. It's one of those things you're just like going, there's one instance and it happened, and then they said, okay, this is what's going on. This method right here, and believe me, I'm just putting this out there loosely. The method sees a bad guys putting cash on the windshield of cars and then take what they want. Even though it's a $100 bill, they might be usually, hold on. So the method that sees bad guys putting cash on the windshield of cars and then take what they want, it might even be a $100 bill, though it usually is fake. Thieves will sit outside and wait for the driver to return, and hopefully that they will get the car that they're driving. So what they're saying is, let's say you pull up to a parking spot and you get out, right? And you go into Target, and thank God you get your espresso totally fucking at Starbucks. You walk through the store, you find some great deals on some stuff, and then you come out and there is a $100 bill on your windshield, like underneath like when they do a parking ticket. So you get in, you start your car, and then you look out and there's a $100 bill on your windshield. So what they're saying is, when you get out of the car because you're too lazy to turn it off and put the car in park, or what, you put the car in park, but you just you just don't turn the car off. You get out and you grab the $100 bill. What they're saying is that someone's going to come up behind you, grab your car, push you out of the way, and then take off with your car. First of all, if I see a $100 bill in my car and underneath the windshield, that's not the first thing I'm looking at. When I get in my car, I always, because I got that brand new Chevy Silverado, the 2023 edition, 2500 series, out there, brand new, waited for it for years. I always walk around the car anyway, see if anyone scratched my car. That's just me. And then I get in my truck, put it in drive. If I go down the road and I see a $100 bill or whatever, like money on the front, I'm like, all right, well, it's going to sit there for a minute. I might pull over the side later on and then pull it out. I know, big money baller. Who doesn't need $100 bills underneath their windshield? But just to let you know, if you see money underneath your windshield wiper, whether it's real or not, just drive off a little bit down the road. Maybe they won't follow you. Maybe they will. And then just be aware of that. I don't know if it's true or false. That's what they're saying. It's one of those scare tactics like, oh, make sure you're being aware of all your surroundings at any given time. Now, something that they're doing right now to be aware of your surroundings at any given time is the new space telescope that's out there. It's called the, hold on, because I'm going to mess this up. The James Webb Space Telescope. When they said James Webb, I thought it was a guy from, what was it? Hold on. I'm going to mess this up. For some reason, I thought it was Tim Gunn. I thought his name was James Gunn. I thought his name was all these different things. I thought it was the Tim Gunn telescope. Somehow in my mind, of course, having the issues that I have. Now, this scientist right now is having issues as well, because he actually said that a French scientist has taken a picture of a nearest star closest to our sun. A French scientist has apologized after tweeting a video or a photo of a sliced piece of, well, hold on. Let me backtrack a little bit. A French scientist was celebrated very shortly as he took a picture of a nearest star closest to our sun, located 4.2 light years away from us. It was taken with the James Webb, or the Tim Gunn Space Telescope, however you want to look at it. This level of detail was so impossible and so new to everyone who's watching this right now. A new world is unveiled every day, is what he told the 91,000 followers this past Sunday. The post was retweeted and commented upon by thousands of users who took the scientist for his word. However, what happened was, it wasn't exactly the sun that he took a picture of. And for more details on this, if you want to watch this video, go over to our YouTube channel over at DeaconLive, and you can see this video in real time as we're talking about it right here. So here we go. This is what actually happened. How about this sun that James Webb took a picture of? Switch cameras, make sure we're all on the same page. Here we go.
Tonight, a prominent French scientist is apologizing after tweeting a photo he claimed was the image of a distant star taken by the James Webb Space Telescope. Thousands of people viewed the image, but it turns out it was actually a close-up photo of a slice of chorizo sausage. He said it was supposed to be a joke.
It's no joke there, James, or scientist guy. What's his name? I'm going to blast him right now. What's his name? Oh, I can't even say this name. That's how cool he is. This is his name. All right, so let's see what his name is.
Asian Klein.
All right, there you go. That guy took a picture. He was having lunch, and something probably fell off his plate onto the floor or onto the table there, and he's like, "Oh, and then he took a picture of it with his phone and said, "This looks like a star from a long, long place in a long time ago." Something like that. How's the credits roll on that? I forget. You know, space is nothing to be played around with there, buddy. You know, we're all looking for it. We're all looking for the answers. And you take a picture of some spicy chorizo and you're saying, oh, that's the latest sun next to our sun? No. I mean, it did look like it. In all fairness, it did. Now, again, when I said, you know, kids are going back to school, one thing that always happens, and I was involved with it many years ago, was Little League. I'm going to pause real quick. I played Little League baseball for many years growing up. I think I was in middle school and then played all the way up until high school. And then high school, I kind of like nerded out and went into drama and did all that stuff that drama nerds does. You know, so the jock and the art didn't really coincide with each other. But right now, the Little League Championship is going on, and ESPN is broadcasting it. They do all the states, you know, the East versus the West, and then, you know, they boil it down to the last two. And this was I think the semifinals. And if you haven't seen this, you know, you can't teach kids how to be empathetic. And this is a great showcase of how kids or human beings can be empathetic to each other. So if you haven't seen this, give me one sec while I grab this. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So here we go. You want your moment of feel good? Here we go. In Waco, Texas, the Little League Championship in this area this past Tuesday, the right-hander, Caden Shelton of Pearland, Texas, was facing the batter, Isaiah Jarvis, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So you have Texas against Oklahoma battling out for the Western Division of the Little League Championship. On Tuesday, when an 0-2 pitch got away from him, slamming into Jarvis's helmet, Jarvis fell on the ground, clutching his head, and had everyone run up to the plate in concern for Jarvis's condition. After a few moments, Jarvis' head's cleared enough for him to walk unaided to first base. Meantime, Sheldon stood on the plate. In the meantime, Sheldon stood on the mound, staring at the ground with tears in his eyes over what happened. It's a very pinnacle moment here in Little League. So here we go. I'm going to show you the video, and everyone can see this. If you want your moment to feel good, get your tissues out, get your hankies out. So here we go. Hold on. Make sure I got all the cameras up so we can all be friends. Here we go. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Ooh.
That's awesome.
He's there, standing up with all the coaches. Audience stands. Catcher from the other team's like, here, let me help you down. And if you watch the pitch, it hits him. It hits him right above his. He's a right-handed batter, so he hits it right above his left temple. I mean, snuck right underneath the helmet and the cap there, his ear protector, and hit him right in that temple. Could have killed him.
Wow, that is a tough kid right there.
So they're trying to get him a new helmet because the helmet, I guess, messed up and stuff. So here, the batter is standing on first place, standing on first base. He kind of flips the helmet over. You can see the pitcher's completely distraught. And the kid that he just hit kind of walks over to him.
So this is really cool because as a pitcher,
big hug.
Looks shaken up right now.
Big hug
because of what he did. And look at Zay Jarvis. This is.
It's all right, man. I'm good.
He wants him to know that it's okay, that he'll be fine.
Hey, bud. Look at me. Look at me. You're all right.
Amazing.
You're all right. Look at me.
And that's the coach. The coach coming out to the pitcher and saying, "Hey, shake it off, man. We got to get out of here."
Hey, look.
You hear him crying. You hear him crying.
Hey, bud. Look at me. Look at me. You're all right.
Amazing.
You're all right. Look at me. Hey, look. You can do it.
What a stud right there. Zay Jarvis.
That's my kid. That's my kid out there. All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. We'd like to make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to prophetradio.com, PROPHET radio. Click on social contacts. Make sure if you want to say anything or be part of the show, click on Be Heard while you're over there and get yourself some free shit while you're over there as well. Fill out the little form there on free swag. We'll send you out some magnets, some stickers, and all that stuff. On that note, guys, I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
Wait. Come back.
This is the absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
See you later. Crying. Big time. Okay, bye. See you.